welcome everybody to this week's Market Share, the short weekly segment brought to you by MKR, where we bring you all the noteworthy news and updates surrounding digital media and the world today. I'm your host Genevieve, and we've got some awesome stories for you today, so let's get started. First up, let's talk about Dove's most recent campaign, Detox Your Feed, which surrounds building up the self-esteem of young girls that has gotten broken down by social media. The research behind the new Dove Self-Esteem Project explains that 2 in 3 girls spend more than an hour each day on social media, which is more than they spend in person with friends. And sadly, there is a lot of not-so-positive beauty advice out there these days, which leads 1 in 2 girls to say idealized beauty content on social media causes low self-esteem. This stand against the more negative sides of social media has been going on for years, with Dove campaigns Speak Beautiful, No Digital Distortion, and Reverse Selfie Talk. The Dove webpage behind the project provides resources that can be used by friends, families, and even educators to help young girls in the battle against low self-esteem. And they aren't even pushing products alongside it either. Other than general awareness, they're not getting much monetary value from the campaign. And the fact that they're doing this to actually help people, not just sell more soap, is entirely more refreshing than it should be. Next up today, let's get into why B2B companies are investing more into brand marketing than ever before. For the past few years, B2B companies have been noticing more and more benefits that a strong brand can bring, which is why brands are trying to find a better balance between short-term performance and long-term brand building. Business-to-consumer companies thrive every day off of their branding, especially with the digital environment we live in today. Other industries are starting to take note, even if it has never been a historical strategy. The real estate company JLL has been running ads in Times Square, IT company Accenture has placed aired TV commercials on CNN and ESPN, and many other companies have been trying to find ways to infiltrate channels that did not used to be typical for anyone else other than B2C brands. In the end, all of these companies are still marketing to humans. So whether they have a super strong tie to emotion or not, you need to make people feel something if they're going to use your product or service. Also, in a time of climate change and DEI challenges, brands need to stand up for what they believe in and support the people who they want to support them, which directly involves what and who make up your brand. So when there's this much value at stake and the gap between brand marketing of B2B and B2C companies closing, the ad industry will need to anticipate many new opportunities. Third up, let's think about how ads have allowed us to do certain things for free or for less money. And although most people don't love ads, they do love being able to pay less money. And now physical products are right behind. FreeWater's new radical packaging is actually making water free from the multitude of ads that are placed on each bottle. And FreeWater isn't where they're stopping. They actually want to create a whole grocery store that is completely paid for by advertising. And this is going to make designers all over very sad, but if this plan takes off, it could potentially be the end of packaging design as we know it. Having free groceries like this has a lot of positive benefits, from helping people who can't afford groceries to reducing food waste by up to 30% to being able to donate potentially millions of dollars to combat the global water crisis. Obviously, the design of many consumer goods already include ads, but they're definitely more subtle than FreeWater's current packaging. For example, you can find ads for movies or different recipes on certain cereal boxes. But FreeWater just has ads for any company. It doesn't necessarily have to be connected to it in any way. Personally, this is starting to feel like the movie Idiocracy, where people are constantly surrounded by ads and literally can't get away from them. But honestly, the more we've thought about it, we already have ads in our faces all the time, even if we don't realize it. So all in all, just be prepared for changes to the ad industry we know and love. Finally this week, a trend from TikTok surrounding fruit roll-ups has shown us a perfect example of when to jump on the bandwagon for your brand. A few weeks ago, the trend of wrapping a scoop of ice cream in a fruit roll-up became something we were seeing all over TikTok, even though the General Mills brand didn't even have a presence on the platform. But as you probably guessed, they hopped on the TikTok train real quick. Fruit Roll-Ups explained that they had always planned to create a TikTok account, but that the trend really accelerated both their plan and their timeline. They realized that they needed to have a presence to partake in and to respond to this massive trend in real time. People were questioning if fruit roll-ups even knew what was going on, which, considering that it's a General Mills brand that has access to probably most media monitoring capabilities out there, was a pretty silly question. And so one of the brand's team members at their social media agency responded with a video of her frantically swiping through back-to-back message notifications, asking the exact same thing. After only a month, the page amassed 23 million TikTok views and 2 million likes, comments, and shares combined, while also gaining 119,000 followers during that time frame. Fruit roll-ups were so successful because they were using this user-generated content to their advantage by interacting with real people who are partaking in the trend. In the end, if your brand is lucky enough to get pulled into a TikTok trend, please make sure you have a strategy in place on how you can interact with your consumer base. That's all for this week's Market Share. My name's Genevieve, and I'll see you all next week. Dove campaign, Speak Beautiful, no. They needed to have a presence to partake. No, sorry.